When I come here, I feel like I'm coming home. I mean, what a special place. This is where the buffalo are. It's teachings from my grandmother that got me interested in the land, got me interested in where the animals came from. Just learning about the river lots. But there's the stories of the first settlers. You know, it's kind of precious to know. And my grandmother used to always say that our time here, our time on earth should be spent looking after these beautiful gifts from the Lord. We have to look after the land, because if we don't, there won't be anything left. Along with the environment, along with the animals, there's also life. We all live and we all die. But we become part of nature then. And so we're kind of recycling ourselves back into the mist.
Where do you go? Where do you go? There he is.
Our ancestors have been here fishing this lake since the mid-1800s. So I take great pride in the tobacco offering here at Pigeon Lake. It's a blessing here today. I'd like to thank the Creator for the sky, the water, the food we eat, and the tobacco we use. Hi. Get to fit.
Okay, we ready, gang? We have a 100-yard long net that starts here and ends where those guys are at. The net is 100 yards long by about 15 feet deep. We're going to pull the net out this direction. We'll carry on the silver at the end. Here we go. Beautiful sized fish. Look at that. Eh? We'll carry on. We'll carry on the silver at the end. That's a nice sized walleye for sure. Good. How we doing, gang? Okay.
Let's get that one over right now.
He's still alive.
Okay, hold on.
We're going to stop here.
I think his tail is right here.
Okay, and his face is just full of... Wow. Okay. All right.
Let's get him over to that hole right away.
Yeah. This is a northern pike, jackfish we call them here. Because these fish are a fish of concern in this lake, there's dwindling numbers of jackfish in this lake. We're going to put him back in the hole over there because he's still alive, and let him live another day. The jackfish are a species of concern on this lake. They're not a threatened species, but it's a species of concern. The lake was stocked with walleye in the 1990s, up to 18 million walleye. What we saw was a kind of a tip in the balance of nature where the walleye eventually took over and pushed the northern pike away from the food sources. Since the commercial fishery ended on this lake, we've all but lost the yellow perch from this lake. We rarely see them. The white suckerfish, never see them, and we probably never will again. You know, So we've lost something very important because they help to maintain the balance of the lake.
We used to fish perch here when we were kids. Haven't seen a perch in this lake in 15 years. Provincial government overstocked this place and it's caused a problem. Lots of walleye, not very many jackfish and no perch.
I was radicalized into being an activist. My community burned down in a wildfire a couple of years ago. We lost 75% of our infrastructure, 85% of our forests, and we received little to no help from the provincial or federal government. It was seeing that environmental racism that really opened my eyes to the lack of equitable resource distribution in the face of climate events. And so when something as devastating as a wildfire happened, the unimaginable land loss is also cultural loss. As we know, climate is changing. These climate events are becoming more common, especially affecting rural communities. And as we know across Canada, many Indigenous communities are rural or remote.
The first years of my life until I was about 13 years old, I lived on the shores of the Athabasca. Those are the first memories I have. South of me, we got the North Saskatchewan River, which plays a huge role in the Métis culture and history. In this direction, we got the Athabasca, where I grew up. The Athabasca River starts in Jasper, in the third largest freshwater delta in the world. I've lost a couple of fishing holes along the way that no longer exist. Between Fort McMurray and the cabin, there's creeks that have been there for all my life and prior, of course, that are no longer there. They've been diverted and drained. The water diversion is a big thing. Substantially a lot less water. It won't be nearly what it is today, and it isn't nearly what it was when I was a child. Between the fires, climate change, a lot of our mosses are disappearing, are drying up, the depletion of our ice fields. So after that, I'm not sure what the Athabasca River is going to be. As Indigenous people, we only know what we are told, and we're not being informed. We don't have a trustworthy government. Canada knows nothing about it. Alberta knows very little about it. It's not knowing. It's shameful when you can't trust your government. We need to find solutions. Find faults, but go for the solution.
Well, the resurgence of the buffalo is, it's the hope of the nation. And to me, when I talk to young people who are really worried about climate change and how things are happening and, everything is gloom and doom. And I say it's not. You just have to learn about the buffalo to learn that it's not gloom and doom. And then I tell them about how the buffalo heals the land and how they had such a struggle. And now, they're making a big effort to bring them back because they're needed. They're so needed. They can come back on the land, and within a 2-year cycle, they can restore that land quite a bit. If it was farmland and it had been stripped of everything, all of a sudden the buffalo comes along and he plows on that land and he makes big whales where he's laying down, and next thing you know, those whales fill up with water, and then you get little frogs coming, and you get all sorts of insects and bugs that come along, and then it makes a cycle. The birds come, and they'll take the tufts from the buffalo's hide, and build their nests, and little animals will do the same thing. So it starts to grow, and then the plants start to reseed themselves because the buffaloes, as they're walking through, everything they touch on those furry. They got a lot of long hair, and it picks it up. And so they're bringing seeds along and fertilizing it as they're going along. These plants, if you check them in about a year, the root wouldn't be very big. It would be small. But you try in 2 years or 3 years, the roots are really down. You could have 6, 7, 8-inch roots. The whole area is getting a life again. It's a way of, it saves that piece of land, brings it back to where it was before. And because of that, we're getting the bees back, we're getting the insects back, we're getting the little animals back. You know, you're bringing balance back. It's a long haul, but I think that there's one thing that I can see, that most people here in Canada, they like the idea of the buffalo coming back. And so very much when the buffalo was extinct, and you think they killed them at the drop of a hat before because they didn't want them around. They were wrecking the plains by blocking trains and whatever. Now they want them back because they know that they can restore the earth. So there's hope there.
I'm really lucky in my work. I get to spend a lot of time out in nature with plants, and also I get to help create art, beadwork, and other traditional arts that showcase our relatives to plants. I'm a Métis herbalist, and I'm a sash weaver and an artist. Plants have been a lifelong passion for me, for sure. As a little girl, I was saving seeds from dandelions, just making seed banks, basically, in case the dandelions ever disappear. When I go out on the land, or I take a group of people out for a plant walk, the first thing that we talk about is our relationship with the land and how important it is to show respect to the plants and animals who live there. What I'd really like to do is make gardening a part of our culture again. So I think that's something we need to bring back, is making sure that as stewards, we're creating our own resources. As we learn more about our plant species, because we're teaching youth more about our culture and about the plants that we use, I definitely see more harvesting. The last few years, we've had this really, really rainy spring and barely any snow in the winter. Everybody panics, and then we get all our water in May or June, and I'm glad for it, but it creates this, what we're experiencing today. It's unpredictable. We used to be able to predict it, and there were cycles, even a 7-year cycle where there would be a worse year or a better year or a 10-year. There would be floods, etc. But we're seeing them now just unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen year by year.
We're still so intertwined with the land, not only culturally, but very practically. The world is ready to move forward. I wholly believe that Indigenous knowledge is a key to mitigating the impending climate doom that the world is being succumbed to.
As an Indigenous people of Canada, the Métis have an important place in the society that is Canada, but also with the government, they have a certain amount of sway because we have the duty to consult. So we need to make sure that when a new project has come before the government and they're making decisions, that we insist upon that duty to consult and then insist upon protection for nature. And that's our role as stewards, is protecting and caretaking and balancing.
We've been invited to the table to be consulted and our knowledge to be heard. I think it's now time to pass those reins entirely into our hands so that we can do our practices in the context that we understand them to be used in. Instead you should come meet us where we're at and learn our knowledge in the way that we learn knowledge. Leave behind this Western understanding of our knowledge as well at the door, and instead just allow us to do what we've been doing best, which is taking care of the land in our relationship to the land.
We've made some advances. It's not so much about what people do on an individual level, although that's important. We all need to steward because that's our role, but it's really about what companies are doing. Each company can do the damage of 100,000 people, or they could do the good of 100,000 people. and it's really their choice. And if their choosing always follows the dollar, and they're not going to choose by what's ethical and what's good for all of us. So legislation needs to be made to control that. We have that power, so let's use it.
I like thinking back of my ancestors that do this kind of thing and the trials and tribulations that they went through. You know, they didn't have some of the modern conveniences that we have. I'm a 5th generation harvester to this lake. There's 6 and 7 standing right there. So I get to spread this to my granddaughters. You ready to go fishing? Yeah. I think you two should pull the net back in the lake. Do each of us, the generations that came before us, our generation and the generations coming behind, take care of the lands, take care of the water, and they'll take care of you. That's very important.
What are some things that you hope for your grandchildren? Your ideal scenario of kind of what their relationship to the land and water would look like. What would you want for them?
It's the same way that I was taught is you leave it the way you found it. If you can't leave it in better condition, at least leave it the way you found it. But at least disturbance goes for water as it just goes for land, goes as small as picking up your garbage, no leaving garbage behind, and just trying to leave it the same. Wish my grandkids could be out here right now with us. But they're in their schools, they're getting educated. I'm just thinking about my grandchildren, and I hope and I wish they can experience a little bit that I got to experience. We're asked the question about 7 generations from now. Where do we see us in 7 generations?
Where do you see us in 7 generations?
It won't be the same, but let's hope that we're healthy and that we found ways to survive. I think that's the goal, is to be around in 7 generations.
So every community has different needs, but they all look after the land. I think we're going to have to really watch industry to make sure that it's not trying to kill our very existence, because that's what's going to happen. Just never forget that the buffalo bring us back hope, and don't ever give up. And making sure that if you're taking something, to put something back. But if we can look after the world around us, it does a lot.
You're going to have to ask yourself that question. Where do we see us in 7 generations?